So, late November of 2020, Hat Club did a special release where they had I guess you could say, a commemorative collection that came out to honor an anniversary for this event. But it wasn't a sports event. It wasn't anything with a side patch. No special colors to it. That would be, food-like. No candy, no cookies, no lemonade, no wine. Well, even a sports team, which seems kind of rare for Hat Club to do. Now, there wasn't either the Chief Skull logo, nor was it any of the various Dionic brand logos that they use in and out. Wasn't anything like that. Instead, they made a hat collection that commemorated. Instead, they made a hat collection commemorating. Instead, they made a hat collection commemorating a anniversary of a movie. It was 25 years ago this movie came out. Late November, it did. And I turned 25 this past year, so it's been a pretty banner year, all things considered, for things turning 25 this year. And when I saw these hats on the Hat Club Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, all over social media, I said, no matter what is in my way, who is in my way, if it's people, if it's bots, if I'm at work and I have to tell a customer, give me a second, I have to order these hats, I will do it, because these hats represent a movie from my childhood. One of the greatest movies, this one is in my top 10, if not top 5 hats. And this was groundbreaking as a movie that changed the movie industry for a long time. This movie was groundbreaking. It changed a lot with the movie industry and how we make computer animated films and computer animated graphics. That movie, Toy Story. And that movie is Toy Story. I got 4 of these Toy Story hats. And these, I think, are just great hats. There were more that they made, but I got 4 of them. And I've seen throughout Instagram and Twitter and on Facebook groups I'm a part of, and even some YouTube channels, other hat YouTube channels, some of them were mixed on these hats. Some of them were like, this is so cool, it's different than what Hat Club would usually do. Some were like, it's okay, it's a new hat. They do have under visor or under brim colors, so that's kind of cool. And then some were like, what is this? This is so weird looking. Some people, there was a decent YouTube channel, one of the bigger name guys out there, he was saying that these hats are woman repellent hats. I found that funny. I liked it. And he was going on saying, like, most people would wear like regular hats, baseball hats, and that normal guys would wear baseball hats and sports hats, and most girls wouldn't like guys wearing movie hats. That, okay, oh, really now? Yeah. Well, I guess there are some admirers of these hats. Some of these ladies like my hats. That. You're back. In DC there. Toy Story was the first computer animated film that was produced and released in the world. Toy Story was released to the public on November 19th, 1995. The original box office weekend it had was just about $29.1 million. So it's, relatively low, but it was more of what it did, what the actual product was that made it so groundbreaking, that it became the pillar of computer animation for movies and computer graphics for other movies to come. For years upon years, if not decades, Walt Disney Studios and other animation projects had been hand drawn on these big flip books. It's a single frame you have to keep drawing out by hand each time. That's what had been done since Steamboat Willie, since Snow White, one of the greatest Disney movies, and up until even through The Lion King. It was all hand animated. Nothing wrong with that, but it's also 2D looking then, and life is 3D. So the computer animation gave it more of a 3D look, as well as faster time to make the movie. Tim Lasseter was the pillar founders and heads of the Pixar animated studios that Disney had acquired in the 90s. Also, Steve Jobs was a part of Pixar too, because Pixar used Apple computers to make all the Pixar movies. The movie was groundbreaking in the technology world that you could animate all these different characters and not have to do it hand by hand and have dozens, if not hundreds, of just animators and artists and drawers just, making all these different little segments of frames that, was time consuming and tedious, but someone had to do it. So for Toy Story, it was groundbreaking that they did this kind of animation. And looking at it now, that was early animation. It looks way better than the first Pixar computer generated video. Little short movie. It was like a baby and a toy drummer. The baby looked really weird. Now that was groundbreaking to everyone. That was all animated through a computer rather than a hand drawn pen and paper. But that was in, I think, 1992 or 3 that little video came out, and then Toy Story was the first official movie that would come out, and looked pretty damn good. And through the years and decades now, Toy Story just kept growing and growing. Toy Story originally grossed in the box office $373 million. In today's money, for inflation, that'd be just over $404 million. Not anywhere like significantly high on the list of like top grossing of all time. Nowhere is it near Gone with the Wind, Avengers, Endgame, or Avatar, but what it did for the movie industry was huge. It is a huge part of American history, movie history, childhood like myself, that we grew up with Buzz Lightyear. I got Buzz Lightyear and then a Woody action figure somewhere in the house here. I had Mr. Potato Head toys up there in the corner. I'm sure Buzz is over there. I had so many other Toy Story action figures, and Toy Story was just a huge influence in my life. Just a huge part of it. So that's why I had to get these hats that it commemorated Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, let's not talk about 4. 4 was awful, to be honest. I was excited for 4 when it came out, and then I actually watched it. It was bad. It was not a good ending like Toy Story 3 was. Toy Story 3, if you remember watching that came out in 2010, that made you cry. That made you feel. And especially if you grew up with the characters, it was really hard for it to watch it, to let them go. So, spoiler alert there. Looking at these hats here, these are the 4 main ones that I wanted. Initially, I got these 3 in one order, and the Star Command hat came in another order. This one actually came pretty late. With some of these hats, I like the fact that they include the characters. For like this hat here, this one has the 3 main characters. Woody, Buzz, and Jessie. I like how it's the bright blue, sky blue. The underbrim is this kind of yellow. The bright yellow. It's not a regular yellow, but it's like a playful yellow. Kind of like an Easter yellow. And on the back, you have the Toy Story logo on the back there. Disney Pixar. On the inside, pretty plain. 7/5/8, my hat size there, Disney tag, and tonal New Era flag. I got the Buzz. Buzz was my favorite because he had a green suit, and green is my favorite color. This one has a green underbrim too, like a lime green, a neon green looking underbrim. I like that. And he's kind of in an action pose with his wings out. Action pose with his wings out. This hat I knew I had to get. This was the Pizza Planet restaurant that is like the Pizza Hut or the Domino's of the Toy Story world, and Pizza Planet is kind of like a hidden Easter egg throughout other Pixar films, that in each Pixar film they have some sort of Easter egg to preview the next film that comes out. It's been like a tradition for them. And for other cases, they just have a Easter egg from a previous film. And Pizza Planet was huge. I've seen a Pizza Planet hat before, probably in a dad hat or like a trucker hat was probably the more common hat form style I've seen it as, but available as a 5950, I have to have it. So Pizza Planet just being a very infamous and very key hat for the collection, and just cool for Pizza Planet, pretty infamous with Disney and Pixar. I remember when I was in, I think, 6th grade, our family went to Disney World in Florida, and one of the restaurants was a Pizza Planet. So kind of cool that they incorporated that into their park, that this is a very synonymous hat, very famous brand name within Disney. And I like that the stitching here, that in the P, there's a little dot carved out for the I for the dot. So kind of a cool little design there. The other hat that I was late to get, but I still got, was a Star Command hat. Now, Buzz Lightyear is a astronaut.
I'm Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger, Universe Protection Unit.
He works for Star Command, which is kind of like a knockoff of Star Trek, and in some ways is kind of like NASA. This hat has a gray underbrim, has a Toy Story branding stitching in the back. The Pizza Planet did not, which I like. It's pretty plain. And with the Star Command hat, this one I like, but to be honest, the blue, the navy, is really dark. Let me give you a comparison. Compared to the NASA hat, you can see that the blue in the NASA is like a royal blue, and the blue in the Star Command logo is navy, so it kind of blends in almost from a distance with the black, unless you go up to it and be like, oh yeah, it is navy. I wish it was the blue like it is in the NASA hat here, that the blue pops from the black. The navy blends in too much. Am I being picky? Yeah, but I still like the Star Command hats. I don't like how it fits. That is a 7/5/8, but it is quite loose on me. I don't think there's a really way to return this and get a smaller size, but I've heard this from Hat Club, from some of the figureheads there that talk on social media, that they aren't in charge of the sizing. So if Hat Club, if you get this message, if you can pass this along to New Era, you have how many dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of factories that make hats in China, Bangladesh, Taiwan, Vietnam, Haiti. Why can't you send them the same tape measure? Why can't every worker there have the same tape measure? Because all these are 7/5/8 and they all fit differently. This one, the Pizza Planet hat, fits pretty well. It's just ever so slightly loose, but it is comfortable loose. The Buzz hat is just on the snug portion. It's just along the tight side, but still comfortable enough. And the Three Amigos hat here feels like the Buzz hat, where it's just tight enough, but still comfortable. So it's not the first time I've had this happen with Hat Club hats, that I've had 7.5/8 hats fit pretty tight, or I've had them fit loose, and I've grown in head size. So I'm just going to do what Fit Insider has been doing for a while, sizing down. As I'm recording this video, I ordered a green and icy blue bottom hat for a Cubs hat, and I ordered it a size down just in case, because then I can always stretch it out if need be. Because the sizing has been quite inconsistent, I feel like, in the last few months with Hat Club hats. Again, I know it's not them, because I remember watching in one of the recent recap videos on Instagram that they do, that there was one pre-order hat that they said, I want this in a blue hat, and then, like a certain like shade of blue. I don't know if it was royal or what, but they wanted a certain blue color, and then New Era gave them something that was completely different. So they just tell New Era what they want made, and New Era just kind of screws them over. It looks like sometimes that they give them something that they don't want or isn't consistent with their product quality. So that's really bad for Hat Club that they get that kind of abuse. I do have one comment that I agree with some of the bigger name guys, that from a distance, these hats, especially these two that I have, these hats look great. But then when you zoom into them, and I'll have a picture, I'll have some B-roll going, and when you zoom in and you look at them up close, especially with the Buzz hat, you kind of lose some of the detail, especially in the eyes. There are some good details in the stitching, but even if, like the Jesse figure on the one light blue hat kind of loses a bit in the smile there. And then with Woody, his pupils are connected. So I think that these are great hats. They're just a little bit too much into the stitching detail, I think. Kind of lost a little detail with the stitching. Otherwise, I mean, from a distance, people can be like, hey, that's a pretty cool hat, There's one more Toy Story hat that I have. I got last year, actually, before a family vacation. I got it from the New Era website. This one, I think, is actually better than all of these. Close. I mean, Toy Story is great overall, but just the design, I think, puts a lot more detail than these hats do. This is a Toy Story plain hats. They had a bunch of different Toy Story branded hats last summer with New Era's website, and this was the one I for sure wanted to get because it has just the Toy Story logo on the front. It has the characters as a kind of like a navy or darker blue silhouette. I like that. That you know which characters they are. There's a New Era flag. I like on the back that it has Andy written out. That's the main character, well, the main human character who owns all the toys. On the bottom is a yellow, kind of like a neon yellow, or more like a lime. So I kind of like this yellow a little bit better than this yellow. But what I like about this hat especially is on the inside, the buckram is the clouds that is the wallpaper in Andy's room. This is the first scene shot of Toy Story. And that is huge attention to detail that I like that New Era did. That's going to wrap up class here. I like that Hat Club did something different for their hats. That they didn't do something with sports. That it was a movie collection that they did. I like some of the other hats that they had out. The Mr. Potato Head hat was great. The Woody hat was also great. The Rex hat was okay. I do like my hat diversity, that I have more movie hats now Will I wear all these hats? Probably not for a while, maybe. I mean, I'll probably wear them to work today because I have new hats now. People will, make a comment like, hey, I like that hat. Hey, I remember Toy Story. It's one of my favorite movies. There are plenty of other hat collectors out there that have hats that they know that they won't wear a lot or won't wear, but they just want to have it for their collection. And this is a few of those hats that fall into that category. So this is hat number 299. Hat number 300. Woohoo. At 300 now. This is my pseudo secret 300 hat spectacular. Hat number 301 and 302 for the new hats. Comment down below if you like Toy Story, if you grew up with Toy Story yourself, or maybe you're a parent and you had your kids watch Toy Story and you got roped into Toy Story yourself. Which of your Toy Story movies is your favorite? And please do not include 4 because no one should include 4. Toy Story 4 is that kind of forgotten movie that you just don't want to talk about. As always, thank you for watching. Join the class, subscribe down below. I'm still like 150 subscribers and gotta get some momentum going here into 2021, kids. So, as always, hats off to you for watching. I'll see you the next time in class, everyone. Class is dismissed. Bye, everyone.